Good morning. It's Wednesday, midweek, and of course, you know when it's middle, you know that the weekend is just right by the corner. And of course, yesterday...
It was Monday.
So
My
yeah, it's already
public
closed.
holiday.
Come on. But how did you feel during the rain last night?
It was amazing. I love it when it rains.
I do.
I love it. And because of the heat of these days, please,
It was good. It was good. As a pluvophile, yesterday I was just in 10th heaven. But hey, come on. How was it for you getting into this morning?
Yes, of course. You know, we're here bright and early, as usual, to make sure you have a great start to your day. So make sure you stick around because we have a lot coming on this episode of Wake Up Nigeria.
Definitely, we have a perfect show for you today. So we'll be dishing out all that we have for you on the show. Just stay tuned. Catch a cup of, well, you might need coffee this time or tea or something. Sit back, relax. We are going to have a roller coaster ride.
In case you didn't hear us say it, good morning and welcome to the bright side of Nigerian television.
Definitely. It's going to be a wonderful show. My name is Mike Mexicano.
And I am Winfrey Agbeleshe. You can definitely catch the show live on GoTV channel 27 and UHF channel 49.
Yeah, of course, you can stream the show live. It's at tvcentertainment.tv on Facebook, TVC Connect. And then you can also watch us via the app anywhere around the world. It's available on Android and iOS.
Yes, of course.
Let's get to what we have this morning.
Of course, we have, it's Wednesdays now. Wednesdays, we're starting with nutrition. We definitely have Uju Honora, a nutritionist and wellness expert. Today, she will be discussing sugar and processed foods, understanding the dangers of adding sugar and processed foods and how to make
healthier
choices.
Wonderful.
It's very important.
Nice one.
Very true.
And then, of course, we have relationship. We will be discussing navigating through common marriage challenges with life relationship and accountability coach Abisola Buhari. And, of course, we have our last guest, the creative lead of Untitled Entertainment Limited, Ebuka Ike Ngbechi. He'll be with us here, and we'll be talking to him. Woo! Midweek, Wednesday morning, and because of the rain, you had a very wonderful sleep, I hope.
Sleep.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, let's hope there's more rain today. You want more rain?
Night.
In the night.
In the night.
Good morning. It's the news on Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Mike Mexicano. Now, the men of the 23 Armored Brigade, Yola, have arrested kidnap kingpin Salihu Ibrahim and 24 other suspects operating within the northern and southern part of the country. Mr. Ibrahim, who had been on the security watch list, was arrested with a submachine gun, ammunition, and a Beretta pistol after a raid on his hideout at Nordy Hills. Millions of naira paid as ransom by the victims of the abductors were also recovered during the raid. Addressing a press conference in Yola, Brigadier General Mohammed Gambu explained that the suspected kingpin has been identified as the mastermind behind most of the kidnappings in the area and even in southern parts of the country. The commander said this will provide an avenue for interaction between the brigade and the general populace. He said the command has also intensified efforts to ensure the activities of miscreants are reduced to the barest minimum within Adamawa.
Briefing has become necessary because of the special incidents recorded during several internal security operations carried out by the brigade. Also, it is intended to provide an avenue for interaction between the brigade and the general populace as the brigade intensifies its efforts to ensure the activities of miscreants are reduced to the barest minimum within Adamawa State. In the past 8 months, the brigade has recorded several successes in stemming the tide of criminal activities, attacks on individuals and communities within its area of responsibility. It is pertinent to reiterate that the troops so deployed continue to dominate their area of responsibility to ensure these miscreants are denied freedom of action.
Police detectives in Ondo State have arrested 2 suspects for allegedly stoning a 35-year-old man, Olonfemi Tokwe, to death in Akure, the state capital. The suspects, including commercial motorcyclists, killed the deceased after he crushed 4 persons to death on a motorcycle at Lokoja area of Akure. 6 other persons were injured in the auto crash with the deceased vehicle set ablaze after he was lynched. Spokesperson of the State Police Command, Fumilayo Odunlami, confirmed the arrest of 2 persons in connection with the killing of the man. Mrs. Odunlami said one of the arrested suspects allegedly masterminded the burning of the deceased car. She also stated that the suspects will be charged to court for murder and arson, while appealing to members of the public never to take laws into their hands.
Two people have been arrested in connection with the case. One of them is actually a principal suspect, one of the people who hit the young man in the course of the mob action. It was a fatal motor accident. Unfortunately, rather for people who were around to help, because others too were also injured, rather than help save the lives of victims, they all resolved to jungle justice. I think we have said this times without number. Jungle justice is very wrong. Most of the time, most of the victims of jungle justice, 90% of them are always innocent. There is the place of the law. There is a reason why there is a police. When there are issues, your first point of call should be the police.
Then on to foreign news. Dozens of classified U.S. documents have been leaked and are now circulating on the internet. Images of the classified files have appeared on messaging app Discord since February. Complete with timelines and dozens of military acronyms, the documents, some marked top secret, paint a detailed picture of the war in Ukraine and also offer information on China and allies. Pentagon officials are quoted as saying the documents are real. News organizations have reviewed some of the documents and there are some key findings made. One map includes a timeline that assesses ground conditions across eastern Ukraine as spring progresses. So we'll take a time out now. Stay with us. The show is just getting started. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. And yeah, it's what's up and about. But let's take a look at a few things that we interest us in the papers this morning.
Yeah, of course.
All right. So let's start from The Guardian. And I like the topic there because it correlates with a lot of things that are happening at this time. Doctors demand salary review before May 29. Yeah. That's the headline on The Guardian. You know the interesting thing about this, right? So yesterday, I was reading something on British papers where British doctors are migrating to Australia.
Okay, yes, I know I've heard of
Australia is paying at about 2-3 times what doctors are earning in the UK.
Okay.
So the doctors there are migrating in their numbers. In fact, they're expecting that so far they had over 38,000 doctors and nurses, medical professionals who have migrated to Australia. Now, this is what is happening. Now, the UK has put Nigeria and 45 other countries on a red list that they are not receiving medical practitioners from.
From those countries. And
at the same time, the Nigerian lawmakers are proposing a bill.
A bill that holds Nigerians.
A bill that would, restrict doctors from migrating
after studying. And I'm like, wow.
We need. Okay, I know it would have helped. If not, sometime next week, we would need to talk about this because I spoke to someone, a doctor, Olatubi, we're talking about it and all of that. And I'm like, all of this just going around. But would you ever wonder that even in the UK, the level, or they're on strike at different levels, and they're saying that, look, we want more pay. The same thing that the doctors in Nigeria are asking for. So, it blows my mind, all this, the whole merry-go-round and all of that. And doctors are very important. Medical, not only doctors, because nurses also are moving and all of that. And it makes me wonder that everybody, we know they're important, we know they are, but when it comes to lecturers, when it comes to doctors, and they think about it and see what other people are earning because they were elected and all of that, and they are earning so much. These people are vital to the economy. Yeah. They should bump their pay.
Of course, they should definitely bump their pay because it's the situation of life and death. And that's why we have several situations. I mean, in private hospitals, in the year, especially last year as well, we've had a lot of people pass away because, private hospitals refuse to accept patients because, they said, oh, you have to pay first and all of that. Do you understand? So a lot of times, because of the low pay when it comes to federal levels, towards doctors, they start their own practice and they decide to bill whatever they want. Do you understand? And that literally also puts people in a very tight situation. Because health is necessary. Do you understand?
It is.
Whether you're rich, you're poor, if you fall sick, you need a doctor. So it is very, very important. But then again, the restriction on doctors moving after their study and restricting them to Nigeria, I don't think that's going to work, to be very honest. I know there are certain professions that actually do that. Like, for instance, like pilots now, for instance. Okay. You actually sign with an airline. Okay. They can hold you on a bond. right, for a number of years because they train you.
Okay,
exactly.
because
So
they train you, so they need to get back some of that investment.
Like a 2- or 3-year bond, some even 5-year bond, right? But then again, the alternative to that is that you have to pay for your training, maybe pay your training fee.
Your training fee.
Yes.
Okay, so if we're saying that the government wants to, bring, kind of subsidize the fees, medical fees, then they could say something. Okay,
yes.
If we subsidize medical fees, if you can go and train as a medical student, you go to medical school, go to medical college, you go and train, and then when you are done, maybe for a period of 5 years or so,
yes,
you will not leave. You have to
that
practice.
Will make sense.
So
it's not be what is the offer. What are they offering you to actually stay exactly? Because I will not go to school, train myself to be a doctor. You now tell me I cannot carry the skill I learned and pay for to wherever I want it.
And you see something here. You said something you mentioned that was quite, very poignant there. You said, rich or poor. There are times for those that travel outside the country, the situation might be so, it might just be an emergency, and before you have time to travel outside of the country, you are quiff. And your money will not help you.
Your money will not help you.
So there is nothing, there is no option to ensuring that our medical sector is revamped, is upgraded, and all of that. A lot of people say, look, Nigerian healthcare should not happen to you.
Of course.
Because when it does, when you go to the hospitals, if you want to be thankful for your life, go to maybe a general hospital or something. Not just that, the way they are treated. We've seen some videos online. There was this guy, I don't remember who put up a video of his friend. He said he was outside the ward, he was on drip. He was like, look, if this guy should die, he was making threats, which of course are not, they're not okay to make such threats. But you could see the passion, the pain, trying to, and the doctors they're not so many. They're tired. I mean, you have doctors on 24-hour, 48-hour on call, and how do you expect the person they need to rest? So we really do need to do something when it comes to our medical system and all of that.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's see if there's any other thing that we can mention here on the paper. Let's do the Daily Trust. That what we can see here is Jais Bank. Let's talk about this one. Jais Bank increased gross profit by 2.3 billion naira in 2022. Why I mentioned Jais Bank? Remember when we had issues with the NIBSS payment system that's talking about the general system that cuts across banks and their networks when it comes to the apps and all of that. There were a few banks, and also with the cash crunch, there were a few banks, Jais, I think there was Hope, that were trending during that period.
During that period, yes.
And that is because they made money available. They were not taking extra charges and all of that. And so a lot of people I know friends who open bank accounts in these banks. Islamic banks and all of that. They open bank accounts there. And maybe they are reaping the fruits of all of that.
Definitely. You even talk about friends. My sister happens to actually be one of those people. And it's funny because her husband actually works in one of our banks that were giving us serious issues. That he himself told her, see, don't put money inside that account.
Wow.
I'm telling you. Do you understand? And of course, then, I just came back from Abuja because during this period we were planning my dad's birthday and all of that. So money needed to move around.
Then you travel though. What do you bring back? What do you bring back? He was 70. We hear daddy here. So if you don't bring back something from daddy's birthday, you go back. You got to celebrate it.
And aside that, even some of these online platforms, that's one of the things people take advantage of. The fact that they don't actually, there are no charges for transfers and things like that. They just run their banks and their applications on like a different But I think other banks should actually debate this kind of system.
They should.
So yes.
So big shout out to the Islamic banks who did so well during this period. All right, that's it. That's it on What's Up and About, and of course a review of headlines in the dailies. We'll take a time out now. Stay with us. The show is just getting started. Thank you for staying with us. So let's head over, get straight to it now. We have relationship coming right up. We are discussing navigating through common marriage challenges with life, relationship, and accountability. Coach Abisola Buhari. It's great to have you. You are welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
I love your hairstyle, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're talking navigating through common marriage challenges, right? First of all, what are the most common marriage challenges based on your research and what you have, your experience?
Okay, like the most common one is infidelity. And we have financial mistrust coming second. In today's society, another challenge that people don't really take cognitive about is mental health issue. When a spouse is going through depression or mental health shuts down and the other partner refuse to understand.
That one is coming right up the ranks because
Yes,
it's becoming much
yes,
more of an issue
like,
these days.
you know, some people believe in this part of the world, we do not believe that there is something like mental health challenges.
We started
when,
little by little.
everybody, when you say like, I'm not too okay, I'm down, they feel like it's because there is no money. It's because of the situation of the society. Whereas if you are not open enough, your partner might be going through a lot, and the way you communicate with him or her can add more to that problem. So it's really a great challenge, and that's why we have people thinking, having suicidal thoughts. Because now that you are my spouse, I can't confide in you. Whenever I'm trying to talk to you about what I'm going through, you feel like it doesn't make sense. Some people attribute it to maybe spiritual challenges, village people, and all of that. So instead of you to work together with me, talk to me, see a therapist, or listen to me, not that you shut me down, then you see that I keep to my shell, and the unexpected apple, you know, like when you bottle up a lot of emotions, by the time it explodes, it becomes a big deal. And there's a popular saying that says, if you don't heal on what hurts you, you will bleed on what do not cut you. So literally saying, like, when you don't heal on what hurts you, like there's something you are dealing with and you find it hard to heal on that, then you are going to bleed on who did not cut you, your children, your career, your friends. Like, it's going to affect every area of your life. So to navigate these challenges, I feel like couple needs to be more intentional, be open with their communication, try to trust your partner, then evaluation, like I always say, I'm big on evaluation. You know, we grow out of values at times. Like maybe when we're getting married, we have the same values, and peradventure along the journey, my value changes. The only constant thing in life is change.
Yes,
right?
because value would not always remain the same. It will either step up or it will decrease. It can't remain
so
the same.
you have to like evaluate, be open to communication. So, Bisola, you like going out before. Now I realize that you are keeping to yourself. You don't want to go out. Are you becoming an introvert? So if I'm going through stuff, you'll be able to find out as my partner. And as my partner, you should be the first person to identify if I am going through stuff.
Now, you see, this happens when you know the person to an extent. What in the case of couples who have not spent the time to get to know each other? And we have cases like that, quite a number.
Definitely.
Couples who have not even spent enough time to know each other. So a lot of things are being revealed, as it were, in the marriage. This is after maybe the courtship time was not as much as it should be, or maybe during the courtship, people were not really being themselves, because we've seen that happen.
Yeah,
where people are not themselves during courtship, and then you get into a marriage and like, oh boy, is this what I got married to? In such situations, with challenges that have to come in that way, where you do not fully get to know the person, how does one deal with situations like that?
Okay, thank you for that question. Like I said, you can get to know this when you evaluate, when your communication is open. And the best way to resolve this is seeking marriage therapy. This is like this century, let's normalize going for therapy. Nigerians believe that therapy is for people that are mentally derailed. Like, see, therapy helps you boost your productivity. It helps you in your career. It helps you in your spiritual life. It helps you with your fun and recreation. It helps you, like, it's an awesome kind of thing that you need to do. So when you realize that, oh, is this who I got married to? Rather than Another thing we do is we worship our religious leader. Daddy say, my pastor say, my prophet say, my cleric person say, and then we feel like I can listen to my mom, my dad, somebody I respect a lot. Go for therapy. Like, you know, in therapy, you'll be open. You'll be asked questions. So, and one thing I love about therapy is the answer you are looking for is within you. With therapy, you'll be able to identify and figure out that answer. As a therapist myself, I go for therapy every year. Because I know, like, I take in a lot as a wife, as a mother, as an entrepreneur, as a child, as a sister to a lot of people. So I go in, like, I just try to ease out. I release those toxic emotions, and I breathe in fresh air. So when you realize that your partner is not who you really thought you perceive them to be, then open up communication, and together the two of you can go for marriage coaching, counseling, therapy, and I can guarantee that it works 100%.
Okay, but in situations where those things that you find out are things that you normally would not take, the red flags for you, these are not things that you would not take. Are there any situations where you would recommend divorce, as it were?
You see, like, it's good to set boundaries. This coming generation, I think my generation and the coming generation now, we are aware, like self-awareness is key, and we are big on that. So irrespective of anything, set boundaries. Before marriage, set boundaries. Okay, now we are married. Like on the night of my wedding, my husband and I had a conversation, which we did not even have during courtship. It was like, what is that one thing that when I do, you cannot forgive me? And what do you think I can do to rectify it? So, you know, like, we were already married. We've done the traditional, we've done the court thing. And when we both share that, we're like, okay. Then at that point, we also said no third parties. Whatever we cannot resolve within ourselves, then that is what we break this relationship. So when you set boundaries, you know that, like, okay, this is a no-go area. And depending, if you feel like, okay, I can still tolerate it the first, second time, the third time, instead of you to now become a shadow of yourself, if you feel like divorce is the way forward, then
we'll talk more about this. I wish we had more time. Well, yeah, because it is quite prevalent in our society. We need to know that these things can happen, and how we can prepare for them, and if it has to happen, how to move forward from now. But thank you so much. It was great talking to you this morning. We'll see you, of course, across the month. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's head over to the kitchen. Winfrey, what's happening there?
A lot is actually happening here. And of course, that was a very, very nice interview, and I definitely learned a thing or two, right? No third parties between yourselves. Good morning and welcome into the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen. I have with me here Latifa Adelekon. And of course, she is the founder of T-Quartz, right? And of course, they produce a range of products, and these are actually one of their products. Okay, so now, good morning and welcome. How are you feeling? Being here today. This is your first time on the show?
Yes,
yeah,
my
you feel
first
good.
time.
Okay, great. So now tell me, what are we making today?
So today we're going to be making akara from bean mix and tapioca from our Instant Tapioca. It's a sister brand.
Okay, it's a sister brand, Instant Tapioca, Instant Akara. I love when I hear instant and it has to do with the kitchen, because it means my time is going to be shorter and my stress is going to be less. Okay, so now tell me about this bean mix. Now, what are we talking about here? What is in here?
So this is an instant bean flour that's fortified with pepper, onion, and crayfish.
Wow.
Yes, it makes your meals preparation in the kitchen seamless, convenient, and fast. Okay. And one of the key things is it has this homely feel
to it. Because, yeah, that was actually one of my major worries, because I know you can never tell my mother that you want to make akara out of powder. She's never going to agree, do you understand? Yes. Because there's usually this rubbery texture. So now tell me, is this different? I know you say yes. Now tell me why it is different.
Okay, so it is super different. So I'm not telling you it is different. Okay. And why it is super different is because I have a background in agriculture, and we know the level to which the moisture content that is required in peeling, in drying. So we don't just process like we need to sell. So we are customer-centric, and we work with what the customer tastes. So before we launched out, we sent samples to audiences for them to test, and it gave them that, they gave us feedback that they really love how it tasted, and it was rich, and it gave them that as if they peeled the beans by themselves.
And washed it. Okay, amazing. Because a lot of people still argue, because they believe, of course, after you dry pepper, you dry tomato, you dry onions and crayfish, come on, and then you now preserve it. So now talk about the preservative content.
So this is why this is different. We preserved it with the pepper, and pepper is a natural preservative. So that's why it has pepper, it has onion. Onion is a condiment that also preserves the content of the beans. So since dehydration is not a big deal, it's just a natural way of preserving your ingredients, especially farm produce, for it to increase the shelf life. So yes, on usual bean flours, you have them not taking longer, the shelf life is reduced. But with this, because we've checked the moisture content, once you can achieve a good level of moisture content of a farm produce, the shelf life is going to be extended.
All right, so Latifa has a lot to tell us about this. When we come back, we have instant tapioca, instant akara. So do not go anywhere. We'll definitely be telling you how exactly this is going to be made. We'll be right back.
Okay, I'm looking forward to akara and tapioca, as it were. That's quite healthy food. You're talking about beans and, you know, tapioca, very natural, healthy food. So we're moving from that to talk about nutrition, and we have Uju Onwara. She's a nutritionist and wellness expert, and today we will be discussing sugar and processed foods, understanding the dangers of added sugar and processed foods, and how to make healthier choices. It is great to have you. You are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Sugar is staple, I mean, in almost everything that we take. Yeah. Naturally also, but then there are also processed foods that you have this extra added and processed sugars, and people a lot, maybe because of time, they can't stay off them because, you know, it's easier, it's fast food.
Yes,
fast foods, easier to make and all of that. So some people get to take them. What are the dangers, first of all, of having so much sugar in the system before we talk about, you know, what one can do?
Okay, so the thing there is, the first thing, very most basic thing, it's usually excessive intake of sugar and processed food usually lead to diabetes, right? That's like the easiest or the fastest, what word do I use? Like the fastest disease, medical condition that people often have. But then it doesn't usually end in diabetes, and that's why usually we call
like the starting point.
It's like that's, you know, starting point. But for some people too, it may not be diabetes. Sometimes it's a heart disease, right? Because usually there are like links between intake of sugar and then also heart disease. People usually think that, oh, it's just diabetes because, oh, okay, probably there's too much sugar in the blood and then it's just too much and then the body just like packs up and then there's diabetes. But it's more than that. Even it goes as far as having cases of fatty liver disease, cases of stroke. These are all literally all like issues that can arise when there is an excessive intake of sugar over time. Over time, I'm using that word over time because I get this a lot from clients and they're like, I'm still young. Probably when I'm older, I can stop taking them. I can stop
it, yeah.
And then I tell them that time when you feel like you're older, that you're going to stop taking them or reduce taking them, that is when your system is already then shutting down. So, and then already there's more like this accumulated intake over time, and then
that's it. It so happens, you know, but, you know, let's lay down there for a number of people who might not understand. When you say processed foods, give us examples of processed foods so that people, because people can, you know, they're like, what is exactly processed foods and how do we, in what forms do we take these processed sugars also? What forms do we take them in?
Okay, so the thing there is, every food we eat is actually processed. Okay. That's the truth. That is the very, like,
because we didn't take it raw now. We had to go through some form of, you know.
Of level of, even your rice, even your, like, processing is just literally anything that you do to change the form of something.
From its natural, original natural
Exactly.
state.
But now what we're actually looking at when we say processed food are even a term, or more like a higher term, what we call ultra-processed food.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but we normally just say processed food. Okay, that's easier for people. But then, actually, the emphasis are what we call UPFs. That's ultra processed food. The dangers where we are like, when health professionals, they are all like, oh, reduce your intake of these are ultra processed foods. Now, these foods, aside from the fact that they have gone through a lot of processing, right? The issues with these foods is that they are high in salt, not even the sugar we are talking about, calories and fat. Right? And talking about the examples now, we're looking at your usual ice creams, biscuits, soft drinks, cakes, literally what we call
biscuits is among.
Biscuits is among. Sorry, biscuits is among. But I'm
thinking of the biscuits in my fridge now. I don't want to carry the biscuit. I'm thinking of a juice face.
Oh my God.
Would you say?
No, okay. I don't want to look like a food police, right? But, the emphasis, food should be enjoyed, right? We should eat food and enjoy food. So one of the things I kind of really tell my clients, or as much as possible, is don't look at food from a point of I'm just eating to like fill up my body and enjoy it. Look at it from I'm eating to nourish my body. It's like a mind shift. That way, when you see somebody eating maybe a bowl of salad, you don't feel like, oh my God, what are you eating? Are you enjoying this? Because a bowl of salad is good. You're nourishing your body. Now, so it also makes you, when you're taking that biscuit or that soft drink, you're looking at it from, I know that this thing I'm taking, in as much as I'm enjoying it, I'm not nourishing my body. Right? And that kind of is a mind shift. Now, what did you do to you is that it may not for some people, doesn't mean that you may abruptly stop taking these things, but it means that you only take them as treats once in a very long time. It's a work in process. It's a process.
So when one has to take this, or when considering that you one way or the other, you know, someone like there might be someone who might not have time to cook food and maybe because of work and all of that, and they have to take it. Is there any way to negate the effects of these processed foods, as it were? I know exercise is one thing that we talk about. Is there any way to help, you know, maybe manage it while you're doing it? Is there anything one can do?
Like, you're indirectly asking me, like, is there a way to eat your cake and have it?
No.
No, that is what you're asking
It's not
me.
like that. What I'm saying, so you said once in a while, there's some people that might take it more often than others. But how can you, not eat your cake and have it, but how can you help negate some of the effects? I know exercise is one there, but, you know, is there... Is there any way? Is there other way?
Okay, let me just be very honest with you. Exercise is not even negating the effect. That's the honest truth. People think it is, but it's not. It could just help possibly slow down the progression of the chances of having these things. But it doesn't mean that, like the fact that you're exercising so much and then you're still eating these things, it doesn't mean that it's going to catch up. It's going to definitely catch up.
Exactly.
Because the truth is funny thing is, exercise does a lot, which is fine, right? I usually highly recommend people to exercise, but then 80% of whatever happens in your body all boil down from a function of what you eat, what you feed your body with. Exercise is good, workouts are great, but it's not a solution or a quick fix to probably trying to, okay, I'm eating this food. I know once I exercise, the effect of food is going to magically... No. There's no quick fix.
Wow. Thank you, Ju. Thank you, Ju. It was great talking to you. I know we'll still have you across the month. We'll get to talk more on our nutrition and ways to take care of ourselves by what we put into our bodies. Thank you, Ju.
No problem. Thank
you. All right. That's it on nutrition. Let's head over now to Winfrey. Winfrey, did you learn something there?
You called me Winfrey. Definitely did learn something there. Okay, so now I'm still here with Chef Latifah in the kitchen. And of course, remember, or in case you just joined us, we're making instant akara and instant tapioca because this is 2023 and we're moving at the speed of light. Okay, so now she was telling me about this product, which definitely is one of her picks from her range of products, from T Quartz Foods, right? So now this is the bean mix, right? Yes. And that's what we're going to use to make our akara today. Before we get into making the akara, I I was having a conversation with you earlier, and you did mention that this mix could also be used to make bakery.
Yes.
And I'm like, wow, what else can he do?
Moi.
Okay.
It also serves as a thickener.
Okay.
For your fries, soups,
and all of that. Okay, so now let's go right into making the akara, because that's why we are here. So, so what do we need for this?
Okay, we need our oil,
yes,
and bean mix. That's all.
And that's all.
And salt, pinch of salt. So
maybe water.
And water.
Okay, so now that's oil.
That's oil.
Right, in the pan. Yes. And our bean mix. So now, how much do we need for how many people?
So it swells.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I'm going to be making just 2 spoons or 3.
Okay. And true, I'm already seeing a difference because this one, the color is even different, right? It's actually, will I call it pitch, a little pitch?
That's why we have it in this color of package.
Oh,
to
nice.
show you that it's different.
Yeah. Because the other ones are usually just flat and white.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we have a pinch of salt as well to that. And then we just mix it together.
So you can use lukewarm water, you can use hot water, depending on your choice.
Okay.
So for your akara, you have to make sure that your paste is slightly thick.
Okay. Okay.
So I need to add more water.
You need to add more water, okay? Just a little more. It actually, I think it also depends on how thick or light you like your akara.
You like your akara, yes. You can perceive it.
Yes, I actually can.
Fresh.
Actually. And of course, if you like, I mean, some people like to see their pepper in it.
Yes,
but
there's pepper, there's onion, and crayfish. But if you like to see your onion, you can chop.
You can chop and put inside. Right. So we need our oil to be hot. Like very hot. And that's literally all, right?
Yes, that's all.
That's all. Just mix it. Get your, I'd say last week we did instant native rice. Today is instant akara. We're definitely going to be giving you guys instant because, of course, it's breakfast as well. And we don't want to waste too much time. We're meant to use it to be productive in the kitchen. So there we have it. It looks good. I think I can even see the particles of the pepper. It literally looks like as if I blended my beans and then did all of that already, like on ground. And I mean, I love that already. So is our oil hot enough?
Just a little bit. So
just a little bit more. And of course, in that pot, we have water boiling already for our instant tapioca, which we're going to be making in a bit.
For the instant tapioca, I prefer to layer it with the milk. If you have coconut milk, so it's going to give it the creamy
flavor. So gone are the days of making tapioca from just boiled water. Now we're making tapioca from boiled milk. Amazing stuff. I love being in the kitchen. I mean, like it just. Yeah, I love the creativity and how flexible you can be with whatever you need. Amazing. Okay. Oh, nice. Is it hot enough? Or we should wait a bit? We can wait. We have time. It's instant, so we're not even in a hurry right now. Because I know akara doesn't take long to fry either, right? So we can test it if it's hot enough. Oh, is it? It's hot enough. Amazing. And just scoop and make your balls as big as you want or small as you want. Amazing. Love it. Thank you so much, Chef Latifa. I mean, people like you are who we need to make our lives easy. Do you understand? This is the baby girl life now.
Soft life.
Say he wants to eat akara this morning.
Now start
calculating how to peel and wash beans, please.
And it's not even enough to peel. Now start blending pepper.
You have to blend pepper, all those things. We can't deal. We don't want to deal, and this is the way. All right, we'll definitely be coming back into the kitchen in a moment while our akara fries up. But right now, we have to go on a quick break because it is the top of the hour. So just stay tuned. We'll be right back. Now, when you stay stagnant, you lose yourself and you lose chances, Mike.
Preach, sister. This is some aspire to perspire. Well, that's what it is. We keep things moving because we don't stay stagnant on the show. Welcome to the second lap of Wake Up Nigeria.
Yes, of course. And if you definitely are just joining us, we'll be doing amazing stuff in the kitchen because we're making instant akara and instant tapioca because this is 2023. And Chef Latifa is giving it to us back to back to back.
I am telling you, I'm looking forward to that one, Chef. And I will take the akara hot.
Yes, sir.
People are
definitely waiting on that tapioca, so yes, we're gonna make it all right, yeah?
Definitely.
My name is Winfrey Agbeleshe. You can definitely catch the show live on GoTV. You can find us on channel 27 and UHF channel 49.
Mike Mexicano is my name. You can also stream the show live, TVC Entertainment.tv, Facebook, TVC Connect, and of course on the app. Yes. Let's get straight to what we have left on the show. We have birthday shout-outs. I love celebrating birthdays.
I'm not worried.
Okay, all right. You know, while on the news this morning, we spoke about that incident in Ondo State. I think it was Ondo State. Yes, Ondo State, and the young man who quite unfortunately ran into some bystanders and killed a number of them, and then some others were injured, and they just took it out on him. And from the spokesperson of the police, who was talking to us, she said something about the crowd not even trying to ensure that the ones that were alive were given care and all of that, but they were more concerned with lynching the person. And it brings up the issue of jungle justice and how much we should, we shouldn't take laws into our hands.
Definitely.
Because someone said that it's the laws that separate us from being animals.
Yes, of course.
Because that's why it's not a jungle. Laws keep us, intact and all of that, so we shouldn't take laws into our hands.
I know a lot of people will fault the delay in the judicial system here in Nigeria for reasons why they actually want to do that. But no, because there was also another incident in OAU where they actually lynched a guy for theft of a phone. And you think about a phone, at least, okay, the other one, I mean, it's never understandable. We see people died, but this one is literally a phone, like theft of a phone. It just calls memory back to several other sad incidents that have happened.
Yeah.
It's just so sad, please. Do not do that. Report the incident right about now. Let's take the weather.
It's the news once again on Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Mike Mexicano. Men of the 23 Armored Brigade Yola have arrested kidnap kingpin Saliu Ibrahim and 24 other suspects operating within the northern and southern part of the country. Mr. Ibrahim, who had been on the security watch list, was arrested with a submachine gun, ammunition, and a Beretta pistol after a raid on his hideout at Nordy Hills. Millions of naira paid as ransom by the victims of abductors were also recovered during the raid. Addressing a press conference in Yola, Brigadier General Mohammed Gambo explained that the suspected kingpin has been identified as the mastermind behind most of the kidnappings in the area and even in southern parts of the country. The commander said this will provide an avenue for interaction between the brigade and the general populace. He said the command has also intensified efforts to ensure the activities of miscreants are reduced to the barest minimum within and around Adamawa.
This briefing has become necessary because of the special incidents recorded during several internal security operations carried out by the brigade. Also, it is intended to provide an avenue for interaction between the brigade and the general populace as the brigade intensifies its efforts to ensure the activities of miscreants are reduced to the barest minimum within Adamawa State. In the past 8 months, the brigade has recorded several successes in stemming the tide of criminal activities, attacks on individuals and communities within its area of responsibility. It is pertinent to reiterate that the troops so deployed continue to dominate their area of responsibility to ensure these miscreants are denied freedom of action.
Police detectives in Ondo State have arrested 2 suspects for allegedly stoning a 35-year-old man, Olorunfemi Tokwe, to death in Akure, the state capital. The suspects include a commercial motorcyclist killed the deceased after he crushed 4 persons to death on a motorcycle at the Lokoja area of Akure. 6 other persons were injured in the auto crash with the deceased vehicle set ablaze after he was lynched. Spokesperson of the State Police Command, Fumilayo Odulami, confirmed the arrest of 2 persons in connection with the killing of a man. Mrs. Odulami said one of the arrested suspects allegedly masterminded the burning of the deceased car. She also stated that the suspects will be charged to court for murder and arson, while appealing to members of the public never to take laws into their hands.
People have been arrested in connection with the case. One of them is actually a principal suspect, one of the people who hit the young man in the course of the mob action. It was a fatal motor accident. Unfortunately, rather for people who were around to help, because others too were also injured, rather than help save the lives of victims, they all resolved to jungle justice. I think we have said this times without number. Jungle justice is very wrong. Most of the time, most of the victims of jungle justice, 90% of them are always innocent. There is the place of the law. There is a reason why there is a police. When there are issues, your first point of call should be the police.
And to the foreign scene, dozens of classified U.S. documents have been leaked and are now circulating on the internet. Images of the classified files have appeared on messaging app Discord since February. Complete with timelines and dozens of military acronyms, the documents, some marked top secret, paint a detailed picture of the war in Ukraine and also offer information on China and allies. Pentagon officials are quoted as saying the documents are real. Now, news organizations have reviewed some of the documents and there are some key findings made. One map includes a timeline that assesses ground conditions across eastern Ukraine as spring progresses.
Back into the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen. I'm still here with Chef Latifah, and in case you're just joining us, we're making instant akara, which is already made, and instant tapioca. Okay, now, so Chef Latifah was actually telling me about our bean mix here, which actually is good to make beans pudding, bean cake akara, beans pudding, beans soup as well, begiri, and lots more. So, of course, she's told us of how our akara is different because it actually tastes just like you washed your beans yourself and blended it and all of that, right?
Yes.
Because we have the onions, pepper, crayfish, and all of that in here already. Okay. So earlier, of course, we put our water on the fire to prepare our tapioca. Now, what's happening in that pot now?
The water is boiled.
Water is boiled, and then, yeah, we added milk into the pot as well. So we actually have a pot of milk, of hot milk out there, right there. Okay. So what's happening now?
So we're making the tapioca. It's
We're
instant.
making the tapioca.
Once your water is boiled,
Yes.
you just add it. You can mix this with water if you like.
If you like, or just put it straight.
Just pour it straight.
Right. Okay, so let me move this so it doesn't disturb you.
So you keep stirring.
Yeah, so you keep stirring to make sure it doesn't lump, right?
Yes.
Okay, now, so for...
It's already, yeah, it's the,
How much? How long?
just 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes.
5-10
It's
minutes.
going to be ready. So you can add your sugar
Okay.
if you don't like to see your sugar.
Okay, in there. So everything is just made straight in the pot,
Yes.
right? Makes everything easy.
See, it's getting thick.
Okay, because I was going to ask, because it looks quite light, right? So
Get-
tapioca also swells.
Yes, it swells.
Gonna-
This particular one swells
This
a
one
lot.
swells. Like you said, it's a sister brand.
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
It's swelling already.
thick
It's getting
already.
thick already.
So you cook this on low heat?
Yes, on low heat,
low
so it won't get burned.
Okay. Amazing. And see, just the way breakfast should be. Seamless, simple, straight to the point, and stressless. Yes, stressless. So now, I mean, we were talking earlier, you were telling me of how, I mean, you have a background in agriculture and all of that. We're talking about how you have other range of products. So now, can you actually tell me a little bit about your other products?
Okay, so this is started in my value addition class in year 3
Okay.
while in school, and during my farm year we had to plant beans, and while I had to submit my own beans, I made sure that there was no stone, there was nothing in it, rather than just beating the bean pod. So that was how it all started. And back in school, during Saturday, I take orders on Friday. I see that students love to take moi, but they don't want to peel. So I put it on my Facebook. I tell my classmates, my classmates, and people in the mosque and other people that I can peel beans, because beans and akara is like something I do since I was like 9.
Wow.
back at home.
Back at home.
My father must eat moi moi or akara every weekend.
Every weekend. Wow. Okay.
It's a must. We can't do without it.
Okay.
So I was used to, you know, peeling the beans. So I do that in school. I do it wet in school. So after school, I started with what can I do better?
How can you do it better? So that by the time Dad is asking for beans or moi moi or akara every other, every weekend. Oh wow,
so you need to add more water.
Oh nice. Oh, okay. So if you like it like this, you could probably have it like this. If not, so it's weird. Tapioca is I've never just been a fan of tapioca. I rather pap. I just don't understand why it's not smooth. Are you smooth or are you rough? Let us know. Don't understand. So it's a mixture for me. It's like a mixture of gari and pap. So what are we doing?
No, it has this small tiny balls that when you take it, you feel that jelly balls. That's the. Then you had coconut. For people from Eko, they love it with coconut.
With coconut. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. I would definitely like to try that out. Tapioca and coconut milk,
granula.
Right? Or granula in it. Okay. Amazing. And our tapioca is ready. Our akara is ready. We just need to serve. Now, we have that person right here who thinks he knows so much about women right here on the couch. He's going to explain to me now. Ebuka Mike, welcome to Wake Up Nigeria. Okay, so tell me, where did you study womenhood? Is it womanhood?
You know, when you have been single for most of your life, you start observing what you can't get. You start
observing why you can't get.
Yeah, you start to know, what is it me? Is it them?
All right.
So then you now find out it's them. It's not you. You understand? It's them.
Well, all these women,
I didn't say all the women. I didn't say
decided that you need to be single.
When they get
and
to
it's
heaven,
them. It's not you.
When they get to heaven, God will really question them. You know.
God will really question them.
Their bad decision making.
Their bad decision making.
Me.
We'll come for you. This is 2023. You know, Abby. Okay,
please come for me.
We'll come for you. So now, Ebuka Mike is definitely a stand-up comedian, of course, also a creative genius and a content creator. So now, tell me about this journey. Where did it start from?
Well, stand-up comedy for me started way back secondary school. I think I did my first show when I was in GS3, I think. So it was a show, and you know, ever since then I got into university. I went to Convener University. So while I was there,
a lot of people do comedy in Convener.
Yes. While I don't be everything. So yeah, it was actually a great space to do comedy because you know there was always the audience.
You needed comedy.
Yeah, and you know it's also a training ground because you're using the same because it's a closed space. So the same subjects you have to constantly create around the same topics. So that helped me to be sharp and also. Convener University, I developed that following, and before I got out, I did a couple of. That's what we founded Untitled.
Untitled, yes. I was actually going to talk about Untitled. So now, can you tell me about what is Untitled Entertainment?
Yeah, Untitled Entertainment Company is a company that is specially designed to just curate experiences for. We have a demographic we're looking at, which is the younger people, as young millennials, Gen Z. Because I'm Gen Z, so we're looking at those people, and we're starting our first foray with stand-up comedy because we discovered that like there was a divide. So you discover that many young people don't really resonate with stand-up comedy, probably because they don't have people telling their own stories, you know. So a young guy cannot really relate to how his wife or how he bought a land in Lekki and he can't relate to those things. So you see them. Most stuff on their, you know, gravitating towards skits.
Exactly. So I was going to ask that question now, right? We're in 2023. A lot is happening in the creative space. A lot of people, thanks to COVID, have realized that, you know what, the next thing now is information. So now people are trying to can as much information in content making, skits, and all of that. They believe that's the way to immortalize their legacy, right? Do you understand? Because, I mean, you do stand-up comedy, now you can record it and put it there, but some people believe that in dramatizing it is a more, I don't know, is a better way of presenting it to their audience. Now, you are now leaving that space as a Gen Z and going now back into stand-up. Because even the guys that said stand-up, they seem to be gravitating into, so now tell me, why are you walking
backward? It's not actually backward, it's actually forward because it's only in Nigeria where you have this issue that you just painted. Because abroad, Stand-up is getting stronger and stronger by the day.
Actually is.
Because of the key real issue is we've not hacked the distribution. We've not hacked, like what you said, we've not hacked getting it to everyone. So because of that, and we've not really done enough in terms of gathering our data, like other entertainment. See Nollywood, they've crossed. You know, you see music, they've crossed. They've been able to leverage internet. You know, but like stand-up is still remaining the same plain old stand-up because of, I think, the people that started this, founding fathers, they've tried, they've pushed it, and they've made it even an industry. So it requires that new, fresh injection that will take it to the next level.
To the next level.
Yeah. So basically, and from we released. Released the special one like last month, February, 2 months ago, and was Mufti, was a show, concept show about the police.
About the police.
And very hilarious, and it showed like all sides. You know, most of on social media, everybody's looking at police from this terrible side, but we like showed the full picture, and you laugh about it.
Okay, so we actually have one of your videos. We also want to see that right now before we continue that conversation.
Yeah, that's where that video was from.
Oh,
because I was even talking about profiling. So I just linked it to women.
Oh yeah, let's check that out now.
I believe that, you know, we expect too much from the police. Honestly, your demands are too much. Who here has seen a well-meaning family member, somebody that had prospects, future, in your family that decided that I want to be a policeman? Have you ever seen it happen before? No, we allow the worst of us to police the rest of us. So whatever we see, we take it like that. If we want police to improve, let the best of us police the rest of us. Let them make a law that all first-class graduates by force must go to the police. That I was even when they beg for school, please give me B. Please. Give me C, please. That time schooling will be different now. Lecturer will just enter. Who didn't do my assignment here? You?
Ah, okay, that was actually funny. You actually are funny.
Yeah.
When did you start realizing you were funny?
Well, something I always knew, you know, I was always funny, you know. I don't think there was any point. What I would say, when did I realize I could do stand-up?
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably around that period I started, actually.
Yeah.
You know, late primary school, early secondary school. You know, watching Night of a Thousand, I can never forget. There was a video of Basket Mouth I watched.
Yeah, so takes me to my next question. Who are the people you look forward to, look up to?
Well, for me, I look up to everyone because there's something to learn from everyone, okay?
Yeah.
You know, look at Basket Mouth, you look at the delivery, you look at Bovi, you look at the rice, the packaging, you know. Look at AY. Everybody has something to, you know, so I like to learn from people. I learn from those above, I learn from those beneath. So there's nobody that I can say I'm really modeling my life after. But people say my stand-up tends to have some elements of Chris Rock in it. So,
and it's funny because I was going to wrap up with that question. So not long ago, we actually saw a stand-up that Chris Rock dropped where he actually addressed the Jada Smith situation. Yeah. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
So now a lot of people were upset about it. A lot of people thought it was worth it. So now what is your take, especially when it comes to comedy as a tool? Now, some people say that, some people can't seem to draw the line and say, okay, fine, this is a joke. And say, okay, no, you know what, it's not a joke. It's actually an insult or it's violent or instigating. So now where was the difference? First of all, what was your take on Chris Rock drop, and then
for Chris Rock and you know what happened with Will Smith? Yeah. I think the person that was in the best position to talk about what happened was Chris Rock. Will Smith has been talking. We've heard Will Smith's side, so I think we should hear Chris Rock. And Chris Rock is the one that actually got.
Of course, so when you heard it, you're the one that got slapped. Yeah.
So I mean, it's not in my place to say, you know, because we can't eat our cake and have it. We should allow people to say people should express. Now somebody has been assaulted and is expressing his anger. So I feel he should be allowed to say what he wants to say. So far he's not slapping back. So, yeah. So
if it was you in that situation, what would your response be like?
Well, I actually have a show coming up soon. Yeah,
and slap you right in the middle.
Planted the right bounce, you know, so that's
unreachable. So tell me about this show. What's it gonna be like?
Yeah, I have a show, the 16th this Sunday. Yeah, it's called Ebuka Mike Live, the first and the last.
It's called?
The First and the Last.
The First and the Last.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I've been picking, so, but anyways, that's not the idea. The idea of The First and the Last is, you know, it's the first time I would actually be doing a stand-alone comedy show. Normally, I like to do collaborative works, you know.
Yeah.
And it's the last because it's probably the last time I'll be seen at that level.
At that level.
Yeah,
Amazing. I like the way, I like your confidence. You have this very...
It's sure for me, that.
It's sure for Hey, awesome stuff. God bless you. I come to that place, I don't laugh. My stomach is up before I really something. Okay, so we actually have food for you in the kitchen. But before then, we want to actually see another of your videos. So yeah, let's check this out.
Everybody submit your phones. Submit your phones. Everybody submitted their phone. Then my phone just started ringing, buzzing. Vroom, vroom, and it was on vibrate. Vroom, vroom. All those Samsung. Vroom, 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 vroom. And the police guy looked at it and guess the name he saw. D Major. In his mind, now soldier. The guy asked me, he said, who owns this phone? I said, me. He said, who is D Major? I increased the bass voice, my brother. The guy was really scared. He said, okay, pick it, put it on loudspeaker. All the men that are here, please, if anybody ever calls you, just answer with bass voice. You don't know who you are saving. Because this idiot D Major picked that call. I was like, oh, boy, you don't get to now. How far the 10K now? Then take out.
So, he's here. We have something nice for him, but I feel like we should give him a slap to chop first. as Uncle is forming Christmas. But we speak us our bouncers. So you bring your own bouncers, they bring their own bouncers. It remains so. We chop that slap. But great to have you. Welcome. And, you know, here's wishing you the best. Your comedy is quite clean. And, yeah. But our chef is here. She had something prepared for you. Chef, tell us, what do you have?
So we have here akara and tapioca with milk.
That's it, very simple.
Instant akara, instant tapioca. So we'd like you to try it and tell us exactly what you think about it.
This will be the first time I'm actually going to be taking tapioca.
Oh, really? Okay.
Life, you know.
All right. We really want to know.
Hey.
Doing that.
But can I use my hand?
Of course you can.
Because.
So now that's what's made out of that, right? And we have everything in there: the bean, the pepper, the onion, the crayfish. So we just put it in a bowl, added some water, sprinkled. Do you cook? So let me know when I'm...
Indomie.
So this will be good for you. In case you want to eat akara, just pour water and mix it into oil. What do you think about that? What does it taste like?
Nice one.
Tastes nice one.
Tastes nice, Abby? All right. Try the tapioca. Let's know.
I don't even know how they used to take this stuff on.
Put it on this.
Just like oats.
Is that oats okay?
Or Gary.
Or
I went to Harvard.
Anyone, you.
What is made from these two?
Is it the magical solution? Thank you for coming. And like I said earlier, wishing you the best.
Yes.
All right. Okay, that's it. That's our show today, Daddy.
Yes, it is. Thanks to all our guests and made it to the show today. Amazing. We'll be here same time, same station tomorrow. See ya.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thursday, Thursday. Goodbye.